regular lithium spirit shield on the Grand Exchange, they would sell for 979 billion GP. How much it's worth on the black market, we will trade it all at a going rate. What would it be worth?
So today I want to be making quite a long video where you can just sit back and chill, escape. I know a few other people made videos talking about the new data stream, but I wanted to bring a handful of new ideas and like opinions and different topics. So definitely try and stay as long as you can. And towards the end is some really good ideas for the game that no one's really touched. And to top it off, a few things that I think that Jagex is hiding from us. And you know, don't get me wrong guys, I'm not trying to slander Jagex. I've been playing this game for 10 years. And I wouldn't be making videos like this if, you know, I didn't care. Obviously, Jagex and RuneScape have done so many things well, like thousands of things, but they have also failed. You know, they do have flaws just like any company. So I do hope, you know, any type of criticism can be used in a better way, not to slander the business or anything like that. But let's get into it guys, and make sure you do leave a like if you do enjoy these type of ramble videos. I know I did one somewhat similar to this, not really though. It was kind of about economy and whatnot, but it was mainly about PKing and why people don't step foot in the wilderness, and that did quite well. It seemed like you guys enjoyed it, so leave a like on this one if you do like these ramble videos, and subscribe if you haven't. Let's jump into it. So I feel that Jagex has done pretty well this time around with old school, maintaining the player base and, you know, having the polling system be 75%. A few people have, you know, talked about how it's a little rigged and whatnot, and I do understand. I personally think if they added maybe a 1,500 or a 1,000 total overall, like a minimum to vote in the polling system, that would make a huge difference, because then anyone that actually wants to vote has played the game, they've done some of the content, at least, you know, a good amount, and I feel like they have a lot more of an opinion to say than just, you know, someone could hop on some bot accounts or some level 3s. I don't know, I do believe you have to be a member to vote, but what if it was free to play? You could hop on like 100 accounts in one day and just totally sway the opinion of the vote. So that definitely might be something Jagex is going to look into. I've seen a lot of people harass them on Twitter and whatnot, so you know, we'll see if they look into it. I do want this video to be kind of economy related, and I think there's a lot to learn from you know, 5 years ago, back before EOC came. And we can look at whips now guys, they're like 70k below alt price in the normal game. Party hats are like 10 bill, just everything is so messed up. And if you watch some, you know, like RuneScape 3 people, you know, YouTubers, it's really interesting to see the prices, but kind of scary. And I never in, you know, 10 years I guess, because I'm not going to say like 1,000 because that's just dumb, but I never want RuneScape to turn into like RS3. It has so much potential, the economy is amazing. There's just a little bit of patches that I do think that could be made to make the game a lot better and have the economy flowing so good, and just have, you know, the years to come, all the new players have whips just skyrocketing, D-boots, all that type of stuff. I feel like, you know, the economy needs a big change. Alright, so jumping into a couple points, but one of the first things I do want to address is, you know, Jagex and the old school team, they try hard. I assume they do. There's a lot of people handling different roles and whatnot. But there is also things where they just don't understand it, or maybe the higher ups or the people that are in charge don't get say from like Kieran or, you know, past players that have really good stats and they know the game in and out. And this is a big example guys, like what is this about? This was in the 2016 data stream, which I will be using a couple clips to kind of compare and whatnot, but guys, what is this? 1 defense, 9 on strength. Okay, but 1 defense and a magic, it's like they don't understand what peers are. There's obviously different builds, initiate peers, 60 attack, 70 attack, 75. There's even like 99 and 75 defense, you know, 1 attack, 1 strength peers, OB maulers, and there's so many builds. Kind of shows to me that they don't fully understand PKing at least, or I don't know man, it's just not a smart thing to do to post that in your data stream. I'm sure that triggered a lot of people. I do want to jump into some heavy statistics that they gave us and just kind of my own opinions on them, but I feel like they swept so many things under the rug. Like if we just look at this OSRS and real world, kind of cool honestly, but they could have used this time to talk about the economy in like real time and real truth of what it is and what we can do to fix it. And we can see this year around, it's gotten so bad. I'll show you guys in a minute how bad it's gotten, but I feel like things like this, they're just kind of making a joke out of it. And I don't know man, I feel like it's like McDonald's or something has some big scandal in the kitchen and they're just kind of like waving coupons in your face or something like that. They're trying to distract you from what's really going on. And you know, maybe the economy of the game failing slowly is inevitable, you know, maybe it is, but I feel like there is ways we can fix it and patch it. There's a lot of smart people. I'm not even, you know, the person to be in this position to be talking about how to fix and whatnot, but I do have some good ideas, and if you guys do, make sure you leave some comments below, and who knows, one of the mods could even see it. I might tweet at Chris Archie any really good ideas. So this is what basically gave me the video idea. I know a couple other people have, you know, talked about the data stream and stuff and covered it, and that's all great, but I wanted to dive deeper, guys. So this is exactly 1 year ago. There's 10.7 trillion gold pieces total in the game, and you know, that's quite a bit. I don't really have anything to say about that. Like, that's all perspective. For the game being out for about 3.5 years at this point, that's not really too bad. That's not bad at all. And then the 2017 version comes out, 16.5 trillion, and that's quite a bit of an increase in just 1 year, considering the game prior was out for like 3.5, almost 4 years, and this isn't including platinum tokens. I don't know why they didn't include this. I feel like this is kind of just one of those things, you know, they swept under the rug. They should have totally put it right there. You know, everyone knows platinum tokens are equivalent to gold pieces. Like 1 gold piece is 1,000 platinum tokens, and honestly, I'm not just trying to make a video to make a video. I really find this stuff interesting. In the last like year or two, just stock markets, even bitcoins, I've been investing a little bit and looking at the graphs. You guys know I'm sponsored by GE Tracker. I'm into merching, I'm into all this type of stuff, and I feel like you know, it needs to be looked at, it needs to be addressed. And there it is, the platinum tokens jammed in there. And of course, it's you know, one of those is equal to 1,000, so 3 zeros are actually added on, quite a bit. And of course, it's jammed in with earth runes, flax, water runes. They've had those in all the type of data streams. No one really cares that there's like a shit ton of earth runes. Everyone knows that. But yeah, I'm just wondering why they didn't you know, put it next to the gold. I feel like they are definitely trying to hide it. Like there's no doubt. And platinum tokens is a big thing, guys. With all the stakers, real world traders now, who knows how much people's banks are actually worth. I mean, the average player maybe has a 5 mil, 10 mil, 100 mil bank, but there's stakers out there with 100 bill. I'm sure you guys just saw this video of one of the richest stakers actually, and yeah, he went out and just blew his money, and then he got banned like on spot because he was streaming. Apparently maybe one of the mods was watching, I'm not fully sure. I do want to touch upon the bots as well. 2.6 million bots banned, and 1.3 in 2016. That means there's more bots technically coming in, or maybe they're banning more. But yeah, guys, I was gonna make a video probably 2 weeks ago, and then demo mode came. But how many bots are there at green dragons, air orbs, etc.? Don't steal the video from me if you're a content creator, because it's almost done. I might as well post in a couple days actually, and it's staggeringly bad. Like there's almost 3 to 5 to 6 to 7 bots, air orb bots or green dragon bots in one location. I mean, it's probably, oh, it's so bad. So I think, you know, Jagex should pay 1 or 2 people like 12 bucks an hour. I bet 90% of you that don't have a job or just whatever would be down to do that on the side. You sit there, play RuneScape, hop around, and just ban people that you know are bots. It's so obvious, guys. It's getting pretty bad. And not to mention bots crashing all the supplies. They're obviously bringing in a bucket load of gold. And if you guys are a skiller or something, that's going to affect you guys the most. Doesn't really affect PKers too much at all. So skillers, good fight on this one. No, I'm just playing. But yeah, that's a big concern. And then 3.3 trillion gold banned off of those accounts. I guess some of them are real world traded, not just bots, of course. But that's bad, man. I think botting is kind of worse than real world trading. Like if you make a couple $1,000 at the duel arena, you know, if you gotta sell that stuff, I mean, I'm not with it. But if you guys gotta do that, I mean, that's way different than having like 15 clients open and botting all day and stuff. And then they're probably gonna real world trade that anyway, so it's just 10 times worse. And I'm extremely curious. Leave a comment below if you guys have ever botted. You know, if you guys are doing it now, probably don't say, because there could be some mods. I don't even know. Just don't risk it. I would definitely not bot. I remember I did it like 4 years ago probably. I was doing lobsters and nature runes I think for like a couple of weeks, and the accounts got banned and stuff, and I just never tried it again. So it shows they might have been on it back then. But I mean, I feel like there's so much Zulrah bots and all of those type of things. Luckily Zulrah got nerfed recently, so there's not as many people killing it. But I know if you guys were killing Zulrah, you go to World 330 or something packed, and there'd be like 20 people going in and out of the dock and at clan wars and stuff, and obviously a lot of those were bots. So yeah, honestly I wonder if there was never any green dragon bots and, you know, no players to get the bones, how much would they be? I want to suspect like 6k plus, but then people, of course, real players would go and kill it to bring the prices down because it's such a good money making method. But just something you got to take into account. So maybe bots in proportion aren't necessarily that bad of a thing, but it can get really annoying and totally make a big ass impact on the economy, which I don't think is good. And then Jagex also says they banned 3.3 trill this year, but last year it wasn't even 700 billion. So that's like, what, I don't know, 5 times the amount? I don't know what's going on. That's something pretty questionable. You know, how are these high tier items such as, you know, Ellie's and Galwar's dungeon items, the sought after PVM gear, how is it going to maintain and hold up throughout the years? It could turn into RS3, honestly. I did some calculations off the data stream. I haven't seen anyone bring up these exact points, and I made sure my math was mostly correct, like 99%. If anyone wants to double check, feel free, but what I found is staggering. So overall, there's 2,400 Elysian Spirit Shields in the game, which is still pretty bad, but that's not too crazy. But once I get into these other ones, man, 53,000 Primordial Boots. Like, what the fuck? I wonder how much dragon boots are in the game. There's 77,000 Bandos chestplates. Oh man, 20,000 dragon warhammers, and those just came out decently recently, like a year and a half ago probably max. And they're 1 out of 5,000 drop rate, which is almost a Visage, so that's pretty extreme. And then 30,000 Seradomin God Swords. Wow, I bet there's I want to say there's like 55,000 BGSs, just totally guessing, because I feel like Bandos has killed so much more. But yeah, there's a few other things, I don't want to go over them, I don't want to know the truth. But luckily there's so much players coming into the game, because if you guys have noticed within the last year, I'd say old school, you know, player base has risen quite a bit. There's a lot of new players. At peak times there's like 70,000-80,000 people online. I remember it used to be 30,000, you know, 2 years ago. So it's really growing. There's so much new people. I think the development and the release of mobile, like being fully up on the App Store, is just gonna shut it down. I think RuneScape could just blow up. I remember me in 5th grade and whatnot when I started playing, and I got my phone in 6th grade, which was, you know, many years ago, but me and all my friends were so involved in little games and playing at recess and all that stuff. Imagine if people are like escaping out in math class and whatnot, people are gonna be looking at them and be like, dang, what game is that, bro? And RuneScape isn't really one of the tightest games anymore, as far as Xbox goes and like all that stuff, but if you want to look at it as an app game, it's like top of the line, #1 out there. So I really want to see how this is going to affect the economy. I think it's going to do good. I really think it's gonna help it out. Also, one thing I hope they do add in 2018 is an item that's like 2 bill. And that sounds crazy, and of course you can never set the price, but I feel like if there's more items that are higher tier, it'll make people play longer, it'll make people strive to get more gold, and it'll keep the economy better, because there's so much of like I don't know how should I put it, something to reach for. It's like a Lamborghini. If everyone's driving $5,000, $20,000 cars and a Lamborghini comes up on the market, maybe I'm just rambling, I don't know. But yeah, another thing to look at is the Slayer Tas completed. It's insane. Like, you guys love Slayer, you're so into it. You know, I haven't done Slayer in a while. I've been PKing, doing some skilling. I do PVM here and there, but I don't touch Slayer very much. Like, you know, I do just go kill some bosses because I'm 99. But yeah, just looking at the graph, 2 million Bloodveld task, almost 2 million Fire Giants, 1.6 million Hellhound, 1.6 million Dagonoth task, and I bet a lot of those people are actually killing the boss, which is why the rings are so cheap nowadays. They used to be like 3 or 4 mil, now they're around 2. Looking at the bosses, hate to say, this is something Jagex has totally lied to us about. I don't want to go too far in the detail, and I'm sure I could do some calculations above, but I just want to address Kraken, which is the second most killed, and the #1, which is Zulrah. So Kraken has 87 Slayer required, like it's backed behind 87, and you need a task. and you can kill the mini versions, so just please take that into account, okay? And then Zulrah is like extremely hard of a boss. There's so much people that say, I don't even know how to kill it, I'm struggling, and Kraken, you literally just stand there. But Zulrah is only 50,000 killed, but Kraken's 43,000? That makes no sense. I know there is not one account in RuneScape that has ever botted Kraken, but I do know there is like Zulrah bots you can buy on programs and stuff, and there's so much people doing it. This just doesn't add up. It doesn't add up, I'm sorry. And then Barrows is technically the third boss, and you know, everyone has to do Barrows, like every Iron Man in the world, and only has 15 million, you know, chests completed. So I don't really know, I just feel like it doesn't add up. Definitely, I'm so interested to hear you guys' opinions on this topic right here at least. So, you know, leave a comment. I'm curious, man. I don't think it adds up. So one of the last points I want to cover regarding the data stream before I jump into some of my own ideas and whatnot is the total XP in 2017. Another thing that just doesn't add up. I don't understand. Like it just seems so blatantly like wrong. I don't know why, you know, people aren't questioning it, or Jagex had the, you know, the balls to put it out there. So if we look at the total XP, we can see that combat is like 3 times more than anything else, and you can see that first yellow line is actually cooking, which makes a lot of sense because cooking and, you know, fletching and whatnot and fishing, I guess, are one of the easiest skills. You just sit there AFK, everyone can do it. But then someone please tell me how this makes any sense. It just doesn't make any sense. Like, we saw the combat going up so high, and it's still going up the same rate as it's literally 3 to every single skill. And we can look at construction. Everyone knows that huge construction update came out. Everyone boosted their levels by like 30 levels to go get the new pools and all these new like accessories. So construction alone would be exponentially higher. And then, you know, even rune crafting went up the same. No one does rune crafting. Look at cooking as well, one of the easiest skills to train and the most common 99 skill cape. You can get upwards of like 300 to 400k XP at 90 plus, and even like 200k, you know, just cooking lobsters and whatnot. And you know, cooking was a #1 stat XP gained besides combat in 2017, and it went up just 3 levels, you know, like everything else, not even 4 levels. So man, I feel like they just literally plugged in, oh, just make everything 3 levels higher. That should do it. I would also say fire making with Winter Todd, mining with the new volcanic mining, fishing with the minnows, and you know, of course, fletching with the new amethyst arrows. Thieving is like the quickest thing, and the rogue set came out, and all the Iron Men need to do it, and there's so much bots in thieving. It's a #1 spot. And going ahead and looking at the average player, wow, you guys need to train just a little bit more, or it's all the bots, you know, that are level 3 affecting the graph. Feels bad, man. Alright, so that basically covers everything I kind of wanted to say on the data stream without me rambling too hard, but I do want to get into some future updates that I really think Jagex needs to take into account, mostly gold sync related, and just things that'll actually fix the economy over a long time, and even the short timegevity in making all the players and the new players extremely happy, and making sure all the bosses are good to kill, all the items are still very high priced, and you know, just looking at like the tentacle whip, for example, there's over 100,000 that came into the game this year. And they're 100k, actually no, they're like 70k. You guys remember when they used to be 9 mil, and then 5 mil, and then 3 mil? So it is just sad to see items like that drop so quick, only within a year or so. But I do want to bring up some points that really no one has ever touched upon, ever. And it's some of the best gold sync ideas ever. I'm going to start off with a good one. It's an RS lottery. Just think about that. That is so good. Everyone knows that in lotteries, you know, the company makes money. Let's say people, you know, buy a $10 ticket, there's whatever 50,000 of them, that's $500,000, but the winning is only $200,000, and obviously someone gets lucky, maybe even the next 10 people get like, I don't know, 5,000 or something, but there's always money taken out. So imagine that every time, like there could be a weekly or a monthly lottery, it's advertised at the GE, and you know, everyone can buy a ticket or a roll for maybe, I don't know, 100k, and you could buy 10 tickets, 20 tickets for 2 mil. I think that's a great idea. That's just like an instant gold sync that would affect anyone, and it could even be used as a marketing advertising technique from Jagex without making it look like the Squeal of Fortune, of course, or any type of you know, transactions like that. That's not what we want. So moving on to another great point, you guys might not fully agree with it or want to hear it, but it is the truth. the game has gotten a little bit easy escape, especially with PVMing. If you die, you lose nothing. There's not even like gravestones where you could lose something in 10 minutes. It's literally there for like an hour and there's no risk at all. You even keep your untradables. And let's be real, that is complete crap. It takes away the total danger of the game. But I think it needs to be somewhat similar to the PvP death mechanics. If you guys die with all your untradables, you know, you keep them, but they're broken, and then you have to go pay somewhat close to the alchemy price. There really is multiple ways to go about this, but if we could do something like that and put it with PVM, maybe, you know, your boots and your gloves, all these untradables, it could even be your main armor like bandos and whatnot. If you die, it gets broken and you have to pay like, I don't know, 1% of the GE value or something. So think if something's 10 mil, you have to pay 100k because you died. That's not that big of a deal. It adds that danger again, and I just hate it, man, going to a boss. You know, for me, it's pretty rare that I would die at bandos or maybe Serottoman or something like that. So it kind of takes away the fun out of it. Like, I remember back when I was a kid walking up, man, I'm about to lose these things if I die. I'd go to bandos with like a black D body, a glory, Torag legs, a BGS, and climbing boots, because I remember if I die, oh man, I don't want to lose D boots. And that was such a big thing. Plus, and that would mean these drops and the gold per hour would stay higher because less people would be farming it at such a high rate with the max gear, max DPS, not worried about risking anything. You know, people would be going back to 4 to 5 items maybe if they're scared to die. And then if they did die, they might have to pay 500k to 1 mil in pure gold as a gold sink that would just leave the game to recharge their armor. Very clever. Like, it needs to even be more than barrows, I think. I mean, think about it. You could use barrows for like 5 hours and then only pay like 50, 100k max. It's not that big of a deal, and once you guys get high level, you know, 115, 120, everyone knows that paying for barrows isn't even a big deal. And I do think it needs to be like stepped up a little bit. Everyone's getting pretty rich. There's a lot of gold in the game. You shouldn't be dying at some of these bosses. Maybe even if you're below level 100 combat, or 110, something like that, the death, you know, like amount you have to pay is actually reduced going off of your skill level or you know, combat level. But yeah, guys, leave your opinions on that. I think it's a big deal, and like there's no way anyone could just brush it off. And if you used to play, you know, 2 or 3 years ago, I feel like we've all kind of forgotten what it feels like to die and lose stuff at a boss, but that's how it used to be. And I feel like, you know, there's many games like World of Warcraft or something, if you die, you don't lose much, and it just takes away like the real life aspect, even though it's just a medieval Dungeons and Dragons game online. But I still feel like it needs to be, you know, in order and just working well. I still do have a few more points, but this video is getting pretty long, and I'm sure there'll be so much feedback from you guys. I might make another video like this in 2 weeks, taking some of the ideas I still have, making them, you know, even better, more concrete, and then taking some of your opinions and then, you know, presenting it as a video like that. If you didn't like the last idea, you're probably not gonna like this one, but it has to be said, guys, a skilling tax. I think there needs to be some type of knife, maybe even like the, the pickaxes that you put the smoldering stone in, something like that, but you charge this knife with gold. And it seems stupid, guys, but it's not that big of a deal. There could be like a 1% XP bonus, you know, put into this knife, and you have to charge it with gold. No tokens, no anything like that, straight pure gold. And I think that's a great idea. It could be that the knife keeps track of how much charges you have, and every 1,000 bows or something you have to pay, I don't know, 45k or something like that. Just something small, but then it adds up, and there's so much people fletching, it really create a huge gold sink. ModMattK recently said as well there's not going to be another one of those donation wells, and I think there needs to be. Like, why wouldn't you want to donate to like some type of foundation to cure some medical disease or whatever? But yeah, they donated so much money and they took so much gold and items out of the game. I'm not exactly sure how much it was, but it was like trillions. It was so much. So if we could do that every couple months, that'd be a big hit to the game in a good way. That'd be great. It's a couple years too late to bring this up, but I do feel like they did the cosmetic party hats and Halloween masks extremely wrong. They just like flooded them everywhere. They actually initially had them, you know, randomly spawn, which was a great idea during the seasons, but then one time they just said fuck it and dropped like 100,000 of them, and it went from about like 2 mil to literally 5k. And I think there needs to be some type of item like this that's discontinued, where it comes into the game during a season and everyone is like known that it's out there. Maybe everyone's actually given one, but then it never comes back ever again, and that sucks. But like that would be amazing. That stuff would just rise and it would really help the economy out in the long run. But yeah, guys, probably gonna wrap it up there. Hopefully you did enjoy and you you know, you sat through this long escape and talk. But yeah, I'll do more of these type of videos if there is anything to cover that I actually, you know, feel opinionated about. I'm not just gonna put out videos like this once a week. I've only done, I think, 2 of them. This is like my second one. But tell me if you did enjoy. And yeah, guys, hopefully I sparked some creativity, some insight, and just brought up some opinions and some ideas for you guys. Have a good one. See ya.
Chronic drinking, old English, rags tied, gang sign, letters on my hat in